Yummy, yummy. How's that food, Miss Marlene? Hey, there's Wally walking by too. Hey, there we are, starting to see some people joining me on this wonderful special live post. That's Miss Marlene, who's been formally introduced this morning, lapping up some pieces of beef that have been spread around each in Wally and Marlene's habitat here. Hey there, Nor, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Megan Cusack, hello to you. That's Precious new site here on the live post here. That's Precious Marlene, who of course was a part of our Indiana rehoming that took place at the end of November. The Wildcat Sanctuary was called upon to rehome 4 big cats from a licensed USDA facility. I'm going to come over here and catch up with Wally. The Wildcat Sanctuary was called upon to rehome 4 big cats from a USDA certified facility. That would be Marlene and Wally, 2 lions, as well as Marcus and Winona, 2 tigers. And Dash was the unexpected addition that many of you have learned upon our arrival. Hey there, Mr. Wally, you finding some treats there? Oh, nice job, Wall. But we are just elated to finally be able to introduce this couple to you. Wally and Marlene are what we would consider geriatric lions. Marlene, we've been told, is 25 years old. Mr. Wally there, you see walking behind Marlene, very respectful of her space. Wally, we've been told he's estimated to be about 18 years old. And so, of course, with the geriatric lions, they are going to be receiving that special care that our geriatric residents receive. And, of course, I was just in there with caretakers, and one thing that they put an emphasis on for our geriatric cats is making sure that they have a steady ground to walk on. And so caretakers were inside the habitat, not only for spreading some food for these so these 2 can forage feed, but also shoveling off their platforms and spreading down a little dirt or grit to make sure that Wally and Marlene aren't slipping and sliding anywhere. But and I know we say this a lot, but it's almost like, oh, look at that big piece right there, Marlene. It's almost like Wally and Marlene have been living at the sanctuary their entire lives. They've really come into the swing of things. These guys are great about utilizing their indoor space if there's inclement weather. Both Wally and Marlene are now fully merged together. When they did arrive, we had them separated just to make sure that, we're kind of monitoring them in these, first days of coming to TWS. But fortunately, we were able to successfully merge them again because they did live together at the Indiana facility. Yeah, there's a piece right there, Mar. And we're going to be sharing a video later today. Many of you might have already seen that video on our e-newsletter of Wally Marlene's kind of merge and first couple days here at TWS. And again, we'll be sharing that later today on our Facebook. But for now, we are here live at the Wildcat Sanctuary with Wally and Marlene, 2 new lion faces here on a live post. There's plenty of food to go around, Mr. Wally. You just got to keep looking for it. Let me catch up with some of your comments here. Hey, we're up to $60 on this post. Thank you guys for giving a gift. Very, very much appreciated. It's your support that goes to sustain cats like Marlene and Wally, and also allowing TWS to say yes to cats in need who like Marlene and Wally. And I'm sure many of you have seen the photos of Wally and his love affair with pine trees. Unfortunately, at the former facility where Wally and Marlene came from, these guys really had a lack of enrichment, whether it was platforms to rest on, trees, you name it, toys. Unfortunately, Wally and Marlene did not have that at their former facility, and Wally was quick to absolutely fall in love with the pine trees that are littered around his habitat. I was able to get some awesome photos of him kind of scent marking and rubbing on those trees, and all the caretakers were here and interns were watching Wally and Marlene when they were released into their habitat. And it's hard to really find words to describe the feeling of seeing a cat that's been deprived of those things their whole life, grass to walk on, trees that Wally is absolutely loving, a cat that's been deprived of those things their whole life, and to finally see them take advantage of that here now at TWS. It's really something humbling and something that's just absolutely special to see. So we hope you guys kind of cherish those photos of Wally rubbing on his tree as much as we do. Hey, big guy. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining in, a couple new faces on a live post. This is Wally and Marlene, who are part of our Indiana rehoming at the end of November. Unfortunately, Wally and Marlene were also victims of the exploitation that went into the selling of cubs at this facility. Wally and Marlene were also breeders. And their cubs, just like little Dash would have been if we weren't able to intervene and rehome these animals, were to be sold off to exploiters, roadside zoos, cub petting operations, you name it. And we just couldn't be more happy that that reality is done for Wally and Marlene, and that they're here in their new compassionate forever home. And of course, you see Wally and Marlene here together in the same habitat. Wally and Marlene are, not only kind of aged out of that breeding window, but just in case, we have Marlene, who I'm going to go catch up with over here because we've been focusing on beautiful Wally. We have Marlene on birth control to make sure that there is, no type of breeding, of course, that would happen. We're not going to be spaying Marlene. She's a little bit older of a cat, and we don't need to do that type of invasive surgery on her. Hey, pretty lady. Hey, pretty lady. Don't you just have the most golden coat? And it shines in the sun like you wouldn't believe. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining us, Wally and Marlene are hanging out. You can see they're separated by a wall here, but just down the way they have a shared door going into each habitat. Wally and Marlene, of course, have access to each indoor room that's attached to these habitats, and these two have been really, I was talking about it earlier, have really been great about kind of coming into the swing of things and understanding that their indoor room is a safe space, a warm space, of course, and we just couldn't be more happy for Wally and Marlene. And Marlene is doing something that she has absolutely been loving over the past few weeks since she's been here at the sanctuary, and that is taking advantage of her perches and platforms. You can see we got a couple pieces of food up there to kind of encourage her, but man, you'll come down here basically at any time in the day, and Marlene is sitting right at the top of that platform, overseeing her habitat and her lion neighbors. It's certainly something special, and it's really great to see these new residents really kind of developing some of their favorite haunts. And for Marlene in particular, it is those platforms and perches. She loves climbing up high. And that might remind you of one of our residents, Queen Shanti Diva, who loves her perches and platforms too. So it's great to see that these two queens kind of take after each other. And this is also great too. You're kind of seeing the forage feeding in action and kind of the mental stimulation that it gives cats like Marlene. I just saw her under that perch. She's looking up and down. She's smelling. I just see that she found another little piece of beef by a log. And, that's keeping Marlene stimulated, not only physically, but mentally. She's looking around. She's smelling. She's walking. And it's just great to see this 25-year-old lioness really using the tools of Mother Nature and, kind of channeling her wild side as she forages around here. And you can see Wally, he's just exiting his indoor bedroom. I was mentioning that these guys have access to each habitat. Yes, they each have their own indoor bedroom, but Wally and Marlene, these guys really do enjoy the company of each other, and caretakers have been reporting that oftentimes you'll find them in the same room, and even I'll come out here and take pictures. They're huddled together under the same perch, and it's really great to see that Wally and Marlene do have that bond and truly do like spending time with each other. There goes Marlene. Oh, out of way. Yummy, yummy. That's a piece of beef, and you deserve it, Marlene. Oh, there's Judson. Let's see, how do I... There we go. We'll walk over and say hi to Wally. It's a pleasure to have you all with us here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. We are formally introducing you to the final pair of cats that came to us from the Indiana rehoming that took place at the end of November. That's Mr. Wally here. He is smelling some beef that unfortunately his partner Marlene, she already went by and cleaned that spot up. So I think he's looking at some of the drippings there. And we are just so happy to, of course, being able to have Marlene here at their forever home. Marlene and Wally, excuse me, here at their forever home. We were talking about in their former life that these two were unfortunately exploited for breeding. And they were being bred for their cubs to be sold on the for profit to unscrupulous dealers, roadside zoos, private individuals. It's all for profit, unfortunately. Sorry, Wally, I didn't mean to scare you. I'm stumbling on the snow over here. And again, we're just so happy that these guys are here at their compassionate and forever home. We couldn't think of a better life for these two. And of course, their freedom is afforded by your support. And one way to truly help these cats at the Wildcat Sanctuary is through sustained giving and sustained support. And that's why with these new rescues, we're really promoting our monthly pride, where you can name any dollar amount that you would like to give monthly, and it's going right back to the cat. So if you want to give $5, $15, $10, that sustained support monthly is going to go so far for cats like Wally, and we very much appreciate it. And I know that we've been having our kind of weekly meetings here at TWS, and our monthly Pride membership has gone through the roof. So thank you, everyone who has really stepped up to make sure that you're offering sustained support to the cats here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, because that's truly the best way to help them. Isn't it, Mr. Wally? Isn't it, mister? I'm gonna go find your girlfriend. Huh? I mentioned we're going to be sharing a video of Wally and Marlene later today. Of course, if you were to subscribe to our e-newsletter, you've already seen that video. But that video just kind of encapsulates their journey from Indiana, as well as their first steps in their new habitat, as well as their merging process. Miss Marlene here, she was a little bit assertive over Wally when they were merged, but Wally was a true gentleman and gave her space, respected her authority, and now of course these guys are fully merged, and we haven't seen any type of kind of dominance over Wally or assertion that Marlene was showing right off the bat. And so Wally and Marlene are here in Roar Ridge. You can see Marlene kind of walking the perimeter of her habitat leading up to the central animal building. And Wally and Marlene, I keep on wanting to combine their names, kind of have the 2-for-1 deal that we call here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. They have these two habitats that are connected with a shared access through a guillotine. And Wally and Marlene really split their time in between two habitats. I honestly can't say that one likes one side more than the other. You'll see, just like you see Marlene here, she'll spend time under her little cabana. She'll go to the highest perch behind her, and then she'll cross into the other habitat and climb up on that perch system. Like I said, I kind of sound like a broken record, but Wally and Marlene have really been kind of acting like they've lived at the sanctuary their entire lives. It's just so great to see how quickly they've kind of come into the swing of a wild at heart life. Let me look at some comments here. I know I've been jib-jabbering all along. Kimberly, and a reason why they have a wall in between them, if you already said that, sorry. Yep, I just finished explaining that, Kimberly. It is a you'll see Wally coming right over here. He just came through the door that connects those two habitats. Originally, this is two habitats that would be for either, a single cat or what have you. But with Wally and Marlene being a pair and a couple, and us having the space, we have just given them access to two habitats. Oh, look at you go, Wally! He found a big old piece of chicken under that ball, under the platform on that ball. Kind of zoomed all the way on the other side of the habitat. My fingers are getting a little chilly, so I'm having trouble zooming, but we're going to go walk back over here. But yeah, Wally and Marlene are fully merged. They have two habitats and access to both of those habitats. So that shared wall might have looked like they were separated, but that was just because one was on one side and the other's on the other. So here goes Marlene, who's heading into the other habitat. Really doing a great job of answering your question, Kimberly. There we go. I'm looking at some comments here. And Marlene just has the most beautiful, almost kind of red coat. It just gets absolutely golden in that sun. And Miss Marlene, she's in great shape. We were told by her formal caretakers at this Indiana facility that she's about 25 years old. And unfortunately, we're not able to know that for sure. But, we're just excited to have Marlene with us. And I was talking about the geriatric care that both Wally and Marlene have been receiving and the attention to detail to their habitats, talking about spreading that grit or dirt around so they're not slipping and sliding. Caretakers were just in here shoveling off those platforms, not only to keep Marlene safe from slipping, but also that's Marlene's favorite spot to hang out is up on top of the platforms. Oh, nice job. That's a big old pile of beef right there. There's a couple more up there too for you, Marlene. You can really see the contrast in their living situation from their former home. Wally and Marlene, for the first time in their life, have perches, platforms, trees. I can assure you there is grass under that snow. Grass to walk on. It's simply great. And every time we look out on these habitats and see all the amenities that have been provided for our residents, there's a step there, Marlene. That's a big hop. It, of course, is all afforded through your support, so thank you for that. You got a step there, silly girl. You don't need to do that big leap. There you go. Let's look at some more comments here. Welcome, everyone, if you are just joining us. That's Lioness Marlene, who's getting poised on one of her steps there to hop up and get the rest of her beef. She's being a little apprehensive, I think, because she thinks that there's beef a little bit lower. I know she can smell it, but she, I think, is just trying to place exactly where it is. Hey, pretty lady. Hi, pretty lady. And, of course, talking about Wally and Marlene getting in the swing of things. Of course, frequently using their indoor bedroom, being responsive to caretakers. And, of course, they already know the drill. A UTV has pulled up over here. Caretakers and interns just finished cleaning Sabrina's habitat. Oh, nice job, Marlene. There's a piece for you. They just finished cleaning Sabrina's habitat. And, Marlene, here's the hum of the UTV. And knows that that's the caretakers. Those are the people who come and help provide her this new wonderful life. Yummy, Mar. That's so tasty, isn't it?
Available to double check the green outside box, please.
And it's always worth pointing out, I'm looking at an African lion. She's standing in snow. We're here in northern Minnesota, and what's an African lion doing in the cold northern Minnesota, and how do they react to the snow and cold? You know, truthfully, they don't mind it. Just like your cat at home, and she's also giving us a great example. Just like your cat at home, Marlene is going to build up a little bit of a winter coat. And truthfully, they don't like walking on the snow, and you just kind of saw an example there. They don't like stepping down into deep snow. But if we go through and shovel pathways, Wally and Marlene, they are not bashful about the snow at all. And of course, Wally and Marlene and every single one of our residents here at the Wildcat Sanctuary have 24/7 access to a temperature-controlled central animal building. And like I've mentioned a few times earlier in this post, Wally and Marlene have just been absolutely great about using that space and making sure that they know it's a safe space and a warm space. Loving all the comments, everyone. I really appreciate it. Of course, it's kind of hard to keep up with them while I'm live here, but undoubtedly I'll be going through every one of your comments and liking them or answering any questions you might have. Let's see. Oh, nice job, Marlene. Yeah, I hit that one up there. I had been noticing that Wally and Marlene are really loving using their scratching posts here. When I was in there cleaning with caretakers, boy, oh boy, those guys have been kind of stretching up and really going to town scratching these posts here. Just like your cats at home, the big kitties like scratching posts too, being able to sharpen those claws and just do their manis and petties. And here comes Wally. He just entered through the doorway that connects these two habitats. I was mentioning earlier that Wally and Marlene kind of have the 2-for-1 deal here at TWS, 2 habitats for 1 pair. And I also mentioned earlier that Wally and Marlene were separated upon arrival, just to make sure that each was settling in well. And of course, these guys are now fully merged and are truly getting along great. We've kind of mentioned that, you know, the sparks aren't necessarily flying in between Winona and Marcus, parents of Dash, who also live together at this Indiana facility. But now that they don't have the kind of stress of breeding, burdening them, as well as kind of the hormones flying around that are associated with breeding, Wally, Marcus, and Winona don't necessarily have that kind of loving relationship for each other, but I'd say that's a little bit different case with Wally and Marlene. These guys certainly seem to enjoy each other's company, and that's just so special to see. Hey, look at that. Looks like I missed a donation or two. We're up to $95 on this post. Thank you, everyone, for giving a gift. That's that really makes what makes the Wildcat Sanctuary turn here is your support, and we never take it for granted. So thank you for that. Look at Marlene extending like that. You wouldn't even know she's 25 years old. See if I can zoom in on Mr. Wally here. He's digging around for some more enrichment. I always love it when the cats use their hands to eat like that. And of course, we're looking forward to kind of featuring Wally and Marlene throughout the week here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. We got to meet Dash first, of course, and then Winona and Marcus last week, parents of Dash, 2 tigers. And this week, it is all about Wally and Marlene. The latest additions from the Indiana Rescue, 2 geriatric lions at that as well. And we're just so happy to finally being able to bring them here to you live so you can meet the cats that you guys do so much for. There we go. Now it's zooming out. You already got that piece, silly goose. You already got that piece. Yeah, you know the deal. You like forage feeding, don't you? Well, everyone, I'm just so happy to bring you guys these two on a live post and finally being able to, formally introduce all the new residents that have come from the Indiana rehoming. And Wally and Marlene, yes, we may have introduced them last, but they are far from least. You guys know that every single cat here at the Wildcat Sanctuary deserves and receives that individualized care and attention, and that extends even to social media. And Wally and Marlene are two very special cats, and we didn't want that to be diminished by introducing everybody at once. So we appreciate everyone's patience and really, really loving everybody's excitement and joy to finally welcome these guys to TWS. Hey, Toy Johnson, thank you for your gift. We're at $110. That is so awesome. Thank you everyone for lending your support. I just see Bridget Macklemore just donated. Thank you, Bridget. Yahoo! Roars of thanks from Wally and Marlene. One question we've been asked a lot since we introduced these two this morning is, are they taking part in the choruses here at the Wildcat Sanctuary? And the answer to that is you betcha. Oftentimes they'll leave. I'm going to move. Sorry about that. Might have lost you for a second. I was talking about Marlene and Wally and their relationship with the other lions. And Marlene, she'll get up to the top of her perch, and of course you can see over to Pride Prairie there, and she sees Chipino, and she doesn't think too much of him. But Wally, on the other hand, is pretty infatuated with Chipino, and I think that the feeling is mutual, because those two you'll often see will be kind of walking up near their habitat walls together, just kind of getting a look at it, an eye on each other. And it's normal for two male lions to see each other and kind of posture and puff out their chests a little bit, but it's definitely been kind of entertaining to see Wally getting used to his new lion neighbors and Chipino alike. Good to see you up there, Mr. Wally. Usually that's Marlene's favorite spot, up high up on that perch. But he says, hey, I like it up here too, especially if I'm looking around for food. All right, everyone. I am just so happy that we finally get to introduce all of the new residents that came from our Indiana rehoming. And of course, if you guys still have any questions on that rehoming, maybe questions about Dash, more questions about Winona and Marcus, going to wildcatsanctuary.org and going to Winona, Marcus, Dash's, Marlene, Wally, their resident pages are going to be great resources for learning more about that rescue, and as well as how you can help their new help support their new Wild at Heart lives here. My tongue's getting twisted because my hands are cold. So everyone, thank you all for tuning in. How glorious is it to see Wally up on the top perch there, soaking in the beautiful Minnesota air here. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for the warm welcome to Mr. Marlene and Wally and all the Indiana cats for that matter. You guys are just the best. TWS has the best supporters, and all of this wouldn't be possible without you guys. So at that, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.